Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this Raw Talking Points video. This is where we round up all the big talking points coming out of this week's Raw. And here, look at this, Roman Reigns arriving just before the show began. So Roman arriving with Jey, and this is obviously really special because we don't get Roman on the shows that much. So for him to actually be opening the show, actually saying a few words at the start of the show, I mean, that's a big segment. It's a big way of opening up Raw. So Birmingham were eating really good. And I did like this comment. King Podcast said, I thought that was a hearse. I mean, it does give hearse vibes. But yeah, no, it wasn't a hearse. No one was dead. Certainly the crowd in Birmingham were not dead. They were making their voices heard. But we will get to that. Because before that, there was a main event taping. We got a couple of matches. El Grande taking on Wilds. Lyra Valkyria taking on Kairi Sane. So the show opened with a concert with a sing-song, Roman Reigns. The fans were chanting. We had OTC chants, stand up if you love Roman chants. I mean, he was in his element. He was loving this. And the fans were loving this as well. And I really feel like that could have kept going. But it was a pretty long segment anyway, to be honest. I don't think it outstayed its welcome. Some people might say it did. But yeah, I thought it was very entertaining. It was a great way to open up Raw. Roman was talking about Jey, and he said, like, if people don't think he deserves to be in that four-way, well, he got the win at SummerSlam, and he also never got his rematch for the title. And the only thing I'd say about that is we don't give rematches for titles anymore. WWE a few years ago made a big deal out of making that very, very clear. And him getting the win at SummerSlam in a tag match, I mean, again, I get it. It's one of those. I'm not bothered about Jey being in it, but I can understand why some people are like, he doesn't really fit. Roman just using a little bit of his time to go, no, you're wrong. He definitely fits. But of course he would say that, right? This is his family, right? Cody was getting booed as well, yeah. So Cody got mentioned and there was some boos. I don't think there's really much to it other than the fact that Roman was just, everyone was dialed into Roman here. Like Roman was there in Birmingham. I think if the tables had been turned and Cody had come out, then I think the crowd would have loved Cody. And then if he'd have mentioned Roman, I think Roman would have been booed. So I don't think there's anything more to it than that. But interesting all the same to hear Cody getting a few boos. They took my bloodline, they took the wise man, they took my titles. Roman Reigns was just saying that things have changed. And then, of course, he would be interrupted. Out would come Heyman, out would come Bronson. Heyman says people in Birmingham are not tough enough to live in Manchester, and they're not rich enough to live in London. It's a great line. It really is a great line. I thought that was very, very good. Lots of cheap heat. Lots of little digs at Birmingham throughout the evening. And obviously Birmingham, a very special place in my heart. I was kind of born and raised in Birmingham. I've worked and lived in Birmingham. It's where all my family are from. This is the room that I went to watch WWF house shows in the 1990s. So, I mean, this really is a special show for me. So, really did enjoy this opening segment. It all led to a big brawl. We know we're getting Roman Bronson this weekend in Paris. So, they were kind of fighting in the entranceway. Bronson trying to get more shoes, but he didn't succeed this time. So, but he was trying. He was trying to get a hold of them shoes. So, that was our open, and it took up about half an hour, you know. Really ate up a lot of the show. Backstage, we had Dominik talking to El Grande. Finn was not sure about this. So Finn was like, is there anything I need to know here? And Dominik was like, don't worry about it. So don't know what's being cooked up there, but definitely something to be aware of. They want you to know about that, right? Then we went to our first match. So this was pretty sick, this moment here. So look at this. He really drives him down. I mean, that is a brutal spot. That is a brutal spot. But unfortunately, I couldn't really enjoy this first match because I don't know if this was the same for you, but there was big issues, technical issues. Here you can see wrestle features saying, is anyone else having stream issues? And actually, we've got some footage here of what it was like. I mean, you can see the jittering and the stalling and the slowdown and the lag. And I mean, it was kind of unwatchable, to be honest. Like, you couldn't really get lost in the action. And sadly, that did happen at times in that kind of first hour. So it was really hard to kind of really get lost in this match. I can tell you the community thought it was okay. Our live watch-along thought it was okay. They weren't crazy about it. They thought it was okay. But it might have been better than that, honestly. But there was a lot of disruption. Dragon Lee ends up picking up the victory against JD. So a loss there for JD. Then we go over to our next folder. So in our next folder here is Roman acknowledging the UK. As I said, I think he really enjoyed the reaction the crowd gave him. So there's Roman acknowledging the UK crowds. Backstage, Dominik tells Finn to deal with AJ Styles tonight. So we got Finn Balor versus AJ Styles. I mean, what a match to add to this show. Already Rhea Roxanne had been announced. So very good. That took us to match number 2, and we knew we were going to get this match. Penta against Kofi. And you can see here's Xavier coming down with Kofi, and he looks like an English gentleman. He's got his top hat, he's got his cane, right? Grayson. There's a video doing the rounds of Grayson going up to strangers before this show in Birmingham and basically saying, would you mind signing this and getting the Mexican Destroyer band? It's a fun clip. I'm going to put it in unseen later. And here he was getting Corey's signature. Michael wouldn't sign it, right? But Big G, Grayson Waller, collecting signatures to get the Mexican Destroyer band. Very good, very fun. Just like Xavier's outfits recently. We've had the morning hat. The next week he had the little hats. We've had the pimp outfit. And now here he is as, I think, a bit of an English gentleman vibe. So Xavier having a lot of fun with his outfits at the moment. Kofi would actually go on to get the victory. So Kofi would actually go on to secure the pin and get the win against Penta, which is kind of crazy. I really was not expecting Kofi to win, but he did. Here, Drew said, you're really shocked that the rest of the world want to see Homelander defeated. Come on. That's Drew reacting to the Cody Rhodes boos. But as I said, they weren't like loud. I don't think it's a big deal. I really don't. I think it's just that Roman's in the ring and everyone was there acknowledging him. And, do you know what I mean? As soon as he mentioned Cody, I mean, there was going to be a few boos. Right, backstage, we had Iyo going up to Rhea saying, look, I don't think we can be friends anymore. It's upsetting my family, Iyo said about Kyrie and Asuka. And they were in the background. So as she was kind of explaining this, they thought that, this didn't look good from a distance, right? So more miscommunication, right? They just can't get on the same page at the moment. Here, Adam Pearce has got an opponent in mind for Stephanie. She will get her one-on-one match for the vacant women's world title. So she's not going to be competing in Paris. So not competing in Paris anymore. And she's disappointed about that. But Adam Pearce is like, look, you're still going to get your title opportunity, but just give me a week to try and work this out. So sadly, Stephanie is off the Paris cards, and we need to try and figure out what we're going to do after Naomi last week obviously vacated the women's championship. Right, Becky came out. She said, I'm not some loser. I'm not Aston Villa or Birmingham City. So again, little digs to Birmingham. She did say, though, that her tryout for WWE 13 years ago was in Birmingham. So she did say that she was there trying out 13 years ago. So that's kind of cool, isn't it? So she said, like, this is a place that's actually quite dear to her heart. But she then did rip into Birmingham. This was a line, maybe a bit too soon. The only good thing to come out of Birmingham died a month ago. But in fairness to Ozzy Osbourne, at least he moved to LA, a proper city. Because if I lived in Birmingham, I'd die too. Oh my God. I mean, maybe a bit too soon. Maybe Birmingham hasn't had many celebrities come out of it. It's Ozzy is probably the biggest name, so obviously this has kind of hurt a lot of people in Birmingham. Like, oh, it didn't get much of a reaction actually. It got a bit of a but I mean, it just kind of got left there. Really, I don't think it got the big reaction she was sort of hoping for. And I did wonder if it was because it was a bit soon, but, well, you know, as a heel, swing for the fences. Right, Nikki Bella came out, and Nikki and Becky has been made for Paris. So we've lost Naomi and Stephanie, and it seems like Becky and Nikki have kind of replaced that, if you will. So there we go. That has now been made for Clash in Paris. Okay, let's go to our next folder. Right, here we got CM Punk backstage. He said, I'm going to paint my masterpiece with your blood in Paris, with everybody saying CM Punk. So, fun little backstage moment there. Yeah, then we got Rhea and Roxanne, and the crowd were chanting, you're just a shiz Liv Morgan. Shiz Liv Morgan. You're just a shiz Liv Morgan. And they were chanting that to Roxanne Perez, right? Kofi Kingston said, I beat Penta. I avenged Woods, just like I said I would. Hashtag thank God for the New Day. Rhea Ripley would get the pin on Roxanne Perez. So Roxanne, I think, has still yet to beat Rhea Ripley. But afterwards, Roxanne and Raquel would start beating up on Rhea. And of course, Iyo would come down to make the save. Earlier in the show, she had said, look, I think we should stay apart. It's not good. You know, my family of Kyrie and Asuka, they don't like it. And then she comes running down to actually help Rhea. She later would explain, I felt like I owed you one. And so that's why she did it. But yeah, she came down. So much star power on this show. I mean, Iyo, Rhea, Roman, Seth, CM Punk, Jey Uso. I feel like everyone was on this show. I mean, if you was at this event, you really get good in regards to like seeing the big names. Obviously, Asuka was not thrilled. I mean, it was all falling apart backstage. There was no violence. They didn't get physical. It did feel like it might get there, but it never actually got there. So lots of arguing and everything, but yeah, obviously not in a good place. Right, this is Liv Morgan, I think, reacting to those comments. So she posted this an hour ago when Birmingham was chanting to Roxanne, you're just a shiz Liv Morgan. So there's Liv posting that on social media. Finn Balor gives her 2 sweets whilst wrestling AJ Styles. So kick coming in there, and then boom, the 2 sweets. Obviously, Finn was in Bullet Club, AJ was in Bullet Club. The 2 sweets being thrown up there by Finn Balor as we went to commercial break. Finn went up for the coup de grace, but no joy. AJ moves out the way, rolls through into the Styles Clash, and that was all she wrote. 1, 2, 3. So AJ Styles picking up a win over Finn Balor. None of the matches tonight really impressed our watch along. Even this one was like acceptable. I mean, none of them were bad. But I would say if there was a part of the show that could have been improved, I think it was that. It felt like there was loads of commercial breaks. It feels like when Roman was out there doing his promo at the start, there was no commercials. And then I think they might have pushed more commercials into the rest of the show. It just felt like we were going to commercials all the time. And then, of course, the technical issues really didn't help either. So that was a bit of a problem. Backstage, we had Jey talking to Roman. Roman says to Jey, don't trust CM Punk. And he was just trying to kind of instill some confidence into Jey. So Roman really being there for Jey, trying to big him up. Obviously, he's going to try and get that World Heavyweight Championship this weekend from Seth at Paris, Clash in Paris. Then we got this, which I thought was so good. This is BAYLEY hearing the hugger voice, the good positive voice, and then hearing that kind of heel voice. Do you remember when she turned heel and she had the bob kind of hairstyle? So they're kind of portraying, you can see BAYLEY there, kind of the silhouette of the hugger BAYLEY with the ponytail. And so it was really well done. She's hearing voices. It's an angel and a demon, and they've kind of used some of her old personas to kind of symbolize them. So really, really good. I really do enjoy these segments. Right, there we go. Next week, next Monday, Dominik Mysterio against AJ Styles for the IC Championship. So that match was made. I heard that Balor was laughing in the background. Let's have a look and see if he is giving a little... There he is there. Look, he is corpsing. There is a little corpse. Look, there is a little... Look, there is some laughter there. This is Dominik being put in a situation he doesn't want to be put into. And as soon as the match gets made, you can see Finn Balor with a smile on his face. We know that there is tension between Finn and Dominik. But yeah, Balor with, look at that. His friend is getting screwed over here. He's going to have to go up against AJ Styles. And that's how Balor's reacted in the background. Right, Roman took out big Bronson Reed backstage. So look at that. Big Superman punch. And then this led to LA Knight grabbing a hold of Bron Breakker. That then went to the main event, led us to the main event. And they were fighting through Gorilla very briefly. Went out into the arena. And so that started our main event. Lyra was backstage just saying she was a little bit worried about Bayley. Seemed like she was a little bit concerned. So don't know what that's going to lead to. But this is our main event. So LA Knight and Bron Breakker putting on a hell of a fight. And the match hadn't even started. And then, of course, it did get underway. So charging in. This was good by Bron, I thought. So there, look, went for a net breaker. And Bron's like, nah. I like that because those little moments just show that he isn't just like 100 miles an hour, just smash it. Like there is some thought process going on. He's not just like a big dumb guy that's just trying to spear like all the time. Like there was some thought process there. And actually during this match, he was trash talking as well, which was really interesting. So I think this is a good way of presenting him. So yeah, some positives coming out of this. Finish this prick off, will you? Who said that? Heyman.
You don't want these problems. Finish this prick off. Really?
Oh, yeah, he did. I never even heard that at the time. Right, then Seth would come down. So Seth would come down to try and distract LA Knight, right? And help Bron get the victory. But then Jey would come down, right? To try and even up the odds. Then we would get CM Punk coming down. The crowd were saying Seth is a... Some of the language from this Birmingham crowds, right? So, yeah, they came down. Jey Uso takes out CM Punk. So this was right at the end of the show. So here, look, we've got them in the ring. And we got Jey staring over at CM Punk. Boom! I mean, I think that moment probably caught a lot of people by surprise. It's not that deep, obviously. These guys are going to be against each other this weekend. Seth Rollins is defending his championship in a fatal four-way. So Jey really needed to send a very clear message that it is going to be for every man for himself. And Roman had told him earlier, don't trust CM Punk. So, yeah, there we go. That's how the show kind of finished up. That's how the show ended. And then we've got a few extra bits. Bayley, just 30 minutes ago, putting out Cool. Don't know what that's about. But that's what Bayley posted. And here we've got Xavier. So this is them on the coach. Afterwards, New Day.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey.
What for you?
Oh, whoa.
What for you? Great sauce.
Yeah, you got the good stuff, bro.
Here we go.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's a celebration.
Yes, it is.
It's a celebration. 1, 2, 3, go. Penta, Penta sauce. Penta, Penta sauce. Penta, Penta sauce. Penta, Penta sauce. Wait, I hate that chant. It's really terrible. His little budget burner with that
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
Oh, burned up all the money.
That's what I'm talking about.
He
I
burned
told you.
up all the money.
I told you. Who you thought he was dealing with?
That's the man right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Shut it off.
Yeah.
There we go. So that's them on the coach afterwards. There was even a bit during the show, during the commercial break, where New Day were being interviewed and Grayson was throwing confetti over Kofi and Xavier, because obviously Kofi got this victory against Penta and they're in full celebratory mood. They are really celebrating that victory. So yeah, that was good as well. This is the card then for Clash in Paris as we come out of this Raw. So we have got Roman against Bronson Reed. We've got Becky defending her IC title against Nikki. We got John Cena against Logan. We've got Sheamus against Rusev in the Donnybrook match. And then, of course, that fatal four-way LA Knight, CM Punk, Jey Uso, and Seth Rollins. So there we go. That was Raw. Chaos at the end, but lots of star power, really vocal crowds. I think this was a better episode than what we've seen in recent weeks, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.